Okay. So the DNC yesterday decides to put back in the platform God and Jerusalem. Now, one of the guys who is not a conspiracy guy on my staff, Joel Cheatwood, who is one of our vice presidents, in fact, the vice president of all content, he came to me and he said, Glenn, I hate to sound conspiratorial, but I think this was planned. And I said, I can't believe that I'm the one saying that's too much of a conspiracy. But you're going to have to decide. Yesterday, we told you that the Democrats took God out of the platform, and they also removed Jerusalem as being the capital of Israel out of the platform. And I said, warning, this shows how radical these guys are. Well, yesterday, late yesterday afternoon, they decide to change the platform. And this is some of the most amazing audio ever. They have to take a verbal vote on it. There has to be three-quarters vote for I, to reinsert God.
Two-thirds.
Two-thirds. Reinsert God and Jerusalem into the platform. And so they take a simple voice vote. Listen to this.
The matter requires a two-thirds vote in the affirmative. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the...
Now listen.
Let me do that again.
Listen.
All of those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no.
Oh, man. Exactly. That is not two-thirds.
50-50.
I think it's a little more. I think it's a little heavier on the nose.
It might be.
Yeah. Now, here's the third time.
Because the guy doesn't know what to do now. Because he knows that was not two-thirds.
He was ready to declare it right at the beginning.
He was, but he knew he couldn't.
Right. Well, he stopped and looked off to the side. I think he was being told. And so the numbers marm comes out behind him, and she's like, look, you've got to take it again.
Yeah.
I guess.
Listen to her.
You've got to rule, and then you've got to let them do what they're going to do.
Stop. See, so now the numbers marm. Here's the honest Democrat on the stage. She comes out and she says, you got to do it again. And then you have to let them do what they're going to do. So in other words, let the chips fall where they may. She knows he wants to say, no, this is passed. And she's saying the rules are you say it, they vote, and whatever they vote, you let them do what they're going to do. Here's the honest Democrat. She's disregarded. Listen to this.
I'll do that one more time. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds have voted in the affirmative. The motion is adopted, and the platform has been amended as shown on the screen.
Disgraceful.
It is.
Thank you very much.
Now, this is disgraceful for a couple of things. First of all, the Democrats are not booing God. They are not booing God here. They are booing the system that is obviously corrupt. This is the Barack Obama system. It really is. We're going to put it out to a vote and let the people say what they want to say, and we're going to go around and we're going to listen to your opinion. Then they'll pole vault, they'll go under the fence, they'll jump over the fence, climb through the window. They'll do whatever they have to do. They're going to do what they want to do. And the Republicans, the GOP, did exactly the same thing, except if you remember with the GOP, it was the exact opposite of what just happened there. The GOP jammed it down their throat. And the Ron Paul people said, what the hell are you doing? Remember this? Right towards the beginning, they wouldn't seat the Ron Paul delegation from Maine or something like that. They wanted to change some of the ruling. And so they jammed it down everybody's throat. And the Ron Paul people on day number one really got pissed. The Romney people stepped in and said, reverse it. So when the Ron Paul people got pissed, within a day, they had changed it. This time, what happened? This is a very good sign. This is one of the greatest signs ever. I love this. This is going to make you feel really good. They are terrified of you. They are absolutely terrified. Do you remember how many times did we say, hey, don't feel like you're alone. You're not alone. We surround them. And we had to convince each other the truth that there are more of us than them. They never have believed that. They just keep going and doing exactly and they just jam it down everybody's throat. They're no longer jamming it down your throat. They're jamming it down their own people's throat now. The good Democrats, they're just jamming it down their throats. And they are afraid. Now, they're not jamming down. The radicals had the convention and the platform. The radicals are the ones that changed this, took out God, and took out Jerusalem. But they know after the response of the American people, they saw what the American people see. They know somebody is smart enough in the Democratic committee that says, guys, we're going to get our asses kicked. What are you doing? So they had to reverse themselves. Just get on the platform and just reverse themselves. Just reverse it. Just put it back in. They expected their people to just go along. They didn't. Half of them, the good common sense Democrats, half of them said, yes, put that back in. The other half, the militant half, said absolutely not. So now the Obama administration has done some amazing things. Once again, they've exposed themselves on who they really are and who they really side with. Then they showed a moment of panic. Oh, no, we gotta, because they know they're in trouble. And the third thing they've done, they've just disenfranchised their real ardent supporters. The real strong, the ones who are like, yeah. Those are the militant guys, and they've just slapped them in the face again. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Barack Obama is going to lose. I think Barack Obama is going to lose in a landslide. We can talk about the stadium, which we did yesterday at the end of the show when it broke. But that stadium is yet another sign. Come on, guys. You don't pick and choose. 74,000 tickets were out, and you're going to tell 54,000 of them that they can't come? Do you know what the PR nightmare is on that one? They're saying, oh, Barack Obama's going to do a phone call, with those 54,000 people. Is he now? Is that what's going to make that go away?
After they purchased their plane tickets and everything else?
Bull crap.
Yeah.
Bull crap. That doesn't happen. They didn't have 54,000 people coming to that. They moved it. It's showing that his support is cratering. This is going to make it crater even more with his die-hard zealot supporters who are going to say, this guy's selling out every step of the way. It weakens him even more. He's going to lose. He's going to lose in a landslide. And here's something I never thought could happen. The progressive left is going to have to explain what happened. And the progressive left is going to be so pissed at Barack Obama that they're going to have to explain away what just happened. I don't think they can explain away entirely with just the Tea Party. I think they're going to have to Jimmy Carterize this guy. They're going to have to make him, they're going to have to start, they will go through and they'll pick something where he dropped the ball, where he made the mistake, where he was doing this, this, and this, and they will dogpile on this guy. Once he starts to really betray them and he looks like he's going to lose his power, I don't think they're going to extol him. I've been afraid that he's going to be the next John F. Kennedy or the next FDR. I don't think so. I think this guy's going to go out in flames. And within the next 2 years, you're going to start seeing them dogpile on him and rip him apart.
So essentially, they can't blame their own philosophy for the failure.
Got to
so
blame it on something.
His effectiveness.
Yep.
He didn't go far enough.
He didn't do it.
Yeah.
He didn't go far enough. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. Whatever it is they come up with, he's going to be the fall guy.
If he really loses the election in a landslide, which I think you're being very optimistic about, as I've pointed out on the program, but if that actually happens, that's a plausible scenario. I mean, that really could, because they're not going to take it as a failure of their policies. They're not going to take it as their failure to connect with the American people.
They can't.
They
it's him.
Blame a personality. It's
got to be him. And they don't care. They'll throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah.
They've held this guy up as a messiah. You watch. They'll start to say, you know what? He wasn't the messiah. There were a lot of people that started to print those halo pictures, and that was the problem. Because that guy really was flawed. That guy really was. He wasn't, Bill Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton there was a president for you.
Yeah, in the end, they'll find something to, like they did with Carter. I mean, they were running retrospectives of how wonderful his peanut farming was. And the fact he was once nice to a Arab and a Jew in the same room or something.
It took a generation.
It took a generation to
try to repair that. They're just starting to repair that. You've got to get the burning helicopters and gas line people, the people who remember that. You got to get them to be, in the minority and fuzzy. You need a generation or two coming up before you can repair that. We have a chance here of having history being told at least somewhat fairly. Because remember, Jimmy Carter left and he was wildly, wildly unpopular. When anybody ran the next 4 years, when Mondale ran, he wasn't talking about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way even Republicans deal with George W. Bush. I mean, he wasn't at the convention. There was a nice little movie about him. And that's about it.
Kind of like move on.
Yeah, Republicans don't want to bring him up. If the same thing happens to Barack Obama, you'll know how worried they are.
Oh, they are. Let me tell you something. They are petrified. You got them. They're finally getting it. Holy cow, man. We're in trouble. They're finally getting it. Now, whether they are or not remains to be seen, because it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to go out and vote. Is there passion on our side? I think there is. And I think there's growing passion on Mitt Romney. But I'm telling you, you are so close to historic victory. Historic victory. We just have to finish it. We just want to run down some audio from last night, and then we're going to go to the phones. Here's a the delegate vote to amend the platform to now include Jerusalem and God. This is amazing. Amazing audio.
The matter requires a 2/3 vote in the affirmative. All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of let me do that again.
Yeah, 2/3.
All of those delegates
So talk down to me.
in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no.
That's when the numbers marm comes out and explains to him, you got to let them decide.
I guess.
Yes. You're going to have to go to an actual count.
Let them do what they're going to do.
I'll do that one more
Rules
time.
are rules, he says.
All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 have voted in the affirmative. The motion
This
adopted,
is what democracy looks like.
Has been amended as
This
shown on
is
the
what
screen.
democracy looks like. You elect the people in power, and the power do whatever the hell they want. And they'll give you the illusion of freedom. And this is not just happening with the Democrats. This is happening with the Republicans as well. And this is why they will fail. This is why they have to shut down the internet and shut down the Tea Party, shut down anybody who can get the truth out effectively. I've never seen stuff like this before. This happened with the GOP, and this has happened with the DNC now. I've never seen stuff like this before. And mainly because they never showed it. In fact, let me go to Debbie in Michigan on line 5. Debbie, you're on the Glenn Beck program.
Hi, Glenn. I was very curious as to how the mainstream media was going to cover the convention in yesterday's news.
Right.
So I DVR'd GMA and the Today Show and fast-forwarded through everything but the political coverage they had. And I did not see any coverage at all of the God and Israel problem yesterday or the Debbie Wasserman Schultz fly. I mean, unless they covered it during the Jessica Simpson thing or the homage to the Obama family.
Uh-huh. So
nothing.
The Today Show and GMA didn't cover it. This is why.
Not at all.
This is why. Thank you so much, Debbie. This is why I think we didn't see this stuff before. They didn't cover it. I'm sure this kind of stuff happened before. They just never covered it to keep the illusion alive. This is why the internet and talk radio and everything else is so dangerous. This is why you are dangerous with your video camera. This is why it's now against the law to tape and film or videotape anybody who is being arrested by a cop. Why? Since when? Since you have the power of the internet. That's why net neutrality is so important to big government Republicans and Democrats.